Welcome to the Seeking Tranquility podcast. I'm John, and today I'll be reading my essay, Why Nice, France? Some Answers to a Common Question. A question I hear frequently these days is, why did you choose Nice for retirement? I hear it from residents of Nice most frequently, who can probably already guess some of the answers, but from others as well, including some Substack readers. There are many reasons why we chose to move from Dublin, Ireland to Nice, France when retiring at the end of 2021. It was partly from familiarity. We'd made several trips to Nice and enjoyed 2 Christmas holidays there as a family. We appreciated the mild December weather and the reprieve from Dublin's often damp, grey winters, and simply being there. But choosing a place to live is different from choosing a holiday destination, and we took the process seriously. At this stage of life, we really don't want to have any more major moves. I should mention that as Americans who are also Irish citizens with status in the Irish social welfare system, moving to France did not pose some of the constraints it would for someone who is not a citizen of an EU country. When plotting our retirement, we identified a long list of essential and desirable attributes for a new place to live. Access to quality and affordable health care is what led us to live in Europe back in 2009, and it remained a priority. It was on that basis that we chose France as our country of destination. But our wish list was long. Among our priorities as an aging couple were convenience and access to essential amenities, a pleasant climate with some evidence of durability in the face of climate change, and the ability to remain engaged with a wide range of cultural activities. Convenience to us implies good public transportation. While living in Ireland, we had given up car ownership in favor of public transport, cycling, or hiring a car for excursions outside of the Dublin area. Since we had no desire to take on car ownership again, having excellent public transportation was a must, and Nice certainly delivers on that account. Since our first visit here, 2 new tramways, one connecting the airport to Nice Port, have been completed and come into use. 2 more are under construction. There's also an aggressive program to reduce traffic in the city center by converting bidirectional roadways into one-way streets with cycle paths and new greenery. The bus system is clean and reliable, and we can all use these services with a single transportation pass, available to seniors in 2024 for €180 annually. We appreciate the superb public transportation and love cycling, but we also enjoy walking, and Nice is a very walkable city. We wished for amenities close to a new home, a market, grocery stores, restaurants, and other common services. Having lived in Dublin with the Irish Sea never more than 10 minutes away by foot, giving up proximity to the sea was hard to contemplate. Nice, with its Baie des Anges, its accompanying Promenade des Anglais, port and coastal walk, so close to the city center, ticked this box. We also appreciate the city of Nice has an ongoing program of dramatically expanding green spaces within the city, providing some level of both cooling and reduction of carbon dioxide. Prominent among the projects is the expansion of the Promenade du Paillon, a parkland built upon the covered Paillon River that flows through central Nice, creating a coulée verte, or green river path, extending the existing parkland by 1 kilometer, covering 8 hectares. Plans include creation of an urban forest by planting 1,500 trees and thousands of other plants. What about services for seniors? France is a country with an aging population, with 21.5% of its population at age 65 or older in 2024. Nice has a reputation as a retirement destination, and in 2021, some 24% of the population were 65 or older. The city of Nice supports a range of services benefiting seniors, defined locally as anyone 55 or older, events and activities, programs for health and well-being, and specialized services for those in need of assistance. The latter include meal delivery programs, household assistance, retirement housing, and nursing care. Information about such services is available at the Office Municipal Niçois des Seniors, as well as its network of 5 Maisons des Seniors distributed throughout the city. It is worth noting that French culture generally respects its older citizens, which is reflected in the quality of municipal services available to them. Intergenerational friendships are also common, and indeed the city of Nice fosters them with events and programs, matching students with tutors, encouraging housing arrangements that bring together seniors and university students, facilitating free attendance at selected university courses for seniors, and so forth. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Nice also has a welcome program for all new citizens, regardless of age, aptly named Les Nouveaux Niçois. Once registered, the city alerts newcomers to activities that orient them to the city and the region. These include an annual fair to introduce new residents to city services, and a monthly set of visits to offices and locations that provide municipal services or which represent sites of cultural interest, ranging from the Archives Conservation Laboratory and the city's Niçois kitchen to an ancient olive oil mill and the Belle vineyards that enchanted Thomas Jefferson on his visit to the city in 1787. With regard to the arts, Nice has a splendid range of cultural institutions, both municipal and private. Those supported by the city include museums, the Théâtre National, Opéra, Ballet, Orchestre Philharmonique, and more. The public museum facilities are accessible without charge to all Nice residents with the Pass Musée de Nice. The excellent French transportation systems also assure easy access to other major cultural centers. Paris and Milan are 5 hours by train, and most European capitals can be reached within 2 hours by air. Apart from the general benefits provided by the city and its environment, we had an additional set of requirements determined by personal preferences, lifestyle concerns, you might say. My wife and I are both musicians and play impractically large instruments. We have a very heavy 7-foot grand piano, and my instrument is double bass. The piano alone puts some constraints on our housing choices. For practical purposes, we wanted an apartment on the first floor, meaning second floor if you think in American terms. Otherwise, we'd need to find a building with tall windows for which a crane could lift the piano, a scary proposition. We also did not want to be restrained in playing the instruments. Having some separation from other building residents was desirable as well. Indeed, within 2 weeks of arriving in Nice, we found a nearly ideal residence, a large first-floor apartment in a lovely Belle Époque building, with a lift, another requirement, and a wide iron-framed staircase that can accommodate bringing the piano into the apartment. Below us is a business, and the flat above is occupied by offices with very quiet employees. The apartment's location also fits well into our list of requirements. You've heard the concept of the 15-minute city? The placement of our new abode is practically a case study. Within 400 meters there are 3 grocery stores, nearly a dozen restaurants, 5 bakeries, 5 butchers, including 1 kosher and 1 halal, and many other petits commerces. We can walk to the major city market, the Marché de la Libération, in 15 minutes, or to the Mediterranean Sea in 20. The train station is 5 minutes by bus, the airport 40 minutes by tram. We can board a bus in Nice and be in Italy in just 30 minutes. There are other considerations, too, under the general rubric of quality of life. Excellent clinics and hospitals, climate, mild though 2 very warm summer months over the past 2 years, affordable cost of living, comparatively high by French standards, especially for housing, but less so when viewed from an American or Irish perspective. At the time our retirement dates came into focus, however, it was not obvious that this would be our ultimate destination. We knew Paris well, and as mentioned, we had been to Nice several times on holiday. I had also spent a lot of time in Strasbourg in the 1970s and 80s, but we wanted to experience more of the country before making a decision. We undertook a stay in Bordeaux in 2018 and enjoyed the city, but left with some concerns. Neither of us thought that it would ever feel like home. The following year we spent time in Brittany, visiting Rennes, which we loved, and Saint-Malo, for a holiday weekend when it was mobbed with Parisians. But then the pandemic intervened. A trip to Aix-en-Provence in April 2020 fell victim to the travel ban which came into place late March of that year, and a visit to Nantes had to be cancelled as well. We moved in December 2021, taking the month as a holiday in our last year of employment. With our apartment becoming available in January 2022, we became permanently resident in France at that time. Has our choice of retirement destination lived up to expectations? Yes, indeed. We find the culture of Nice to be very welcoming and appreciate in particular the amenities and cultural diversity of our own neighborhood. We love the proximity of the sea and the long walks and bicycle rides we take along the promenade and elsewhere. We really do not miss Massachusetts or Dublin winters. Do we have any worries or concerns? Yes, of course, anyone paying attention to French political and economic news would harbor some concerns. With a share of retirement incomes sourced from the U.S., we have some concerns there as well. Climate change is tangible and moving quickly. There's no reason to think that our area will be spared from increasing heat waves and droughts. And the Niçois backcountry has also suffered significantly from flooding. Our calculus is, however, that for us, and for this time, the choice is the right one, and we are very happy. Any more questions about why we chose Nice? Thanks for listening.